Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Boredom Busters with the Lincoln Children's Museum. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, and today we are going to learn a little bit more about our bodies. And what we are learning today is about our hearts and our blood. Now, when you fall down and scrape your knee, what happens? Well, it bleeds usually. Maybe you get scratched by a cat or you cut your finger and you bleed. Well, your entire body is full of blood and it moves through your body because your heart pumps it. So see if you can feel your heartbeat. I can feel it right there in my neck. You can usually also feel it in your wrist. Now, see where you can feel your heartbeat, and there are some places where you won't be able to feel it. You won't be able to feel the blood moving through your body. But we do have a lot of fun activities for you today. And let's check out there. We've got our video recommendation is from SciShow Kids. And in this episode, you learn how to feel your heartbeat. So check that one out. It is linked. And we also have a book recommendation called A Drop of Blood by Paul Showers. And in this book, the characters, the little boy and his dog, they learn all about what is in your blood. And for a little bit of silliness, but still learning, here is the Heart Song by Kids Learning Tube, and it is pretty fun. It has all sorts of good information set to a silly tune. Now, and I'd like to remind everybody that we are doing our Heartfelt Rewards. So whenever you see us post something, hashtag Heartfelt Rewards, go ahead, repost it, comment on it. And for more information on Comenity, check out our website at www.lincolnchildrensmuseum.org or look on our Facebook. Now, today, our printable here, Kazoo, is learning about the rhythms of our heartbeat. So we have a few different patterns here for you, and see if you can do these patterns with Kazoo, with claps and rests. And here, oh, this one has a loud clap and a quiet clap. So see if you can keep that pattern going, and see if you can come up with even more patterns. And we also have some hearts here that you can cut out, nice and red with our Children's Museum logo on there. And you can cut those out and make your own patterns. All right, well, I have 3 activities for us today. So come on over. We're gonna start by making a pump. Now this one is pretty tricky. So here's what you need. You need a jar, 2 straws, water, a balloon, scissors, a skewer or a toothpick, and you'll need some tape. Now, I am also going to use a little bit of red food coloring because our blood looks red to us. And I'm going to use this tray here to catch any spills, and I have a rag just in case I make a mess. Now, first, here's your jar. And you're going to want to fill it up just about halfway with water. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and just put in a couple drops of red. I'll put one more. There we go. All right. Now that color will mix in by itself. And now you need your balloon. And this part can be a little bit tricky. You need to cut your balloon right there. And then stretch your balloon out over the top of your jar. Now, you might need to have a couple balloons on hand. It's pretty easy to accidentally tear it during those parts, and also during this part. Now you need your little pokey stick, whatever you've chosen to use, and poke 2 holes in the top of your balloon. And this is a point where sometimes the balloon will tear. All right, there's hole number 1. And now I'm going to put in another hole right here. So you want them to be kind of far apart. There we go. Then, this part's tricky without tearing the balloon. You want to slide in your straws here. Let's see. That hole might be a little bit too small. Let's see. Can be kind of tricky to get these in just right. You want it to go through the balloon and down. Let's see. My holes are just a tiny bit too small, so I'm going to be very careful here and make some snips to make those holes just a little bit bigger. There we go. That'll work better. All right, 1 straw. I'm going to snip my other little hole there to make it a little bigger. And your 2nd straw. All right, and you want the bendy parts to be facing up. And then now you're going to use the other part of your balloon here, and this is going to be the valve. So you're going to need to put this onto one of the straws, and you can use tape or a rubber band here to connect it around. You just want it to be tighter around here. A rubber band might work a little better than tape, but we're going to try the tape. Because it is kind of big down there. And a little bit of extra balloon there. All right, now I'm going to tilt these down. So here we have red water, straws, balloon. Move this. And then you're going to need to tap this and see if you can get that water to move up one of the straws. And it usually takes a little while. Let's see. Sometimes it takes a little while to get it to work, but you should notice that the water starts to move up just one of the straws. Let's see. Bend down the straw. Let's see. Oh, I'm starting to feel something. Oh well. See if you can get it to work. It's a lot of fun when it does work. It starts coming out of just one of the balloon, one of the ends of the straws. And it works rather similarly to the way that your heart works. Because in your heart, the blood comes in one side, it pumps, and it goes out the other side. Now, the blood, it works. The reason you have blood is for a lot of reasons, but one thing it does is it carries oxygen to all of your muscles and your bones, all through your body. Then when you breathe in, the air goes over your lungs, the blood moves over your lungs and picks up that oxygen to take to the rest of your body. All right, now, if you would like to hear your heart a little bit better, you can make a simple stethoscope using just a paper towel tube and a cup. Now you'll need also some glue to hold it in place, and if you'd like, you can decorate it with stickers or foil, anything fun. Now I'm going to use a box knife to cut a hole into the bottom of this cup. So I'm just going to start by making a slice there with the box knife because it's sharp on the end. And then I'm going to switch over to scissors. So you just need to cut a hole in the bottom of your cup that is the same size as your tube. Now this one I think that I'm using is actually from foil, so it's a little bit smaller than a regular paper towel tube. It can be kind of tricky to cut through this, so you might need a grown-up's help to cut through the plastic of the cup. You want to cut that hole in there. Now the little lesson plan that I have here for this suggests that you wrap your tube in aluminum foil to make it shiny, and then to decorate it with heart stickers. Now, what we're making here, it's called a stethoscope. And when you go to the doctor's office, the nurses and sometimes the doctor will listen to your heart through the stethoscope. So a stethoscope is usually made, it has a little part here that they'll put up against your chest, and then little tubes that will carry the sound into their ears so they can hear your heartbeat. Now, once you get this all cut and you get that tube in there, you can use some hot glue to secure the tube into the hole. And also that hot glue can help to clog up any extra holes. As you see, it's pretty tricky to cut just the right amount out. So the hot glue, it's basically plastic. You can use that to fill in any holes. All right, so once you have that tube in there, now all you do, put this side up against your friend or your sister's, or your dad's chest, and listen through the tube, and you should be able to hear the heartbeat pretty strongly. Now see where you can hear that heartbeat on your parents, maybe on their backs or their chests, but can you hear it on their legs? Where can you hear it when you use this little stethoscope? Now, our last activity, it's one that I really enjoy. It was developed by the education director at the Eugene Science Center back when she worked at the Discovery Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And it is called a What's in My Blood bracelet. Now, our blood, when we cut our knees or it starts coming out, it looks red, doesn't it? Well, the liquid part of your blood is actually yellow, and that part is called plasma. So the yellow part of your blood is what carries the red blood cells. So it's red blood cells floating through the yellow plasma that makes your blood look red. So here's the plasma, it's yellow, and then you need some red beads. And the red beads will represent your red blood cells. Now, most of the cells in your blood are red. And the red blood cells are what carry the oxygen from your lungs out to the rest of your body. But there's also white blood cells. And the white blood cells, you don't have nearly as many white blood cells, but their job is to carry your antibodies to help fight diseases. Now, when you get a cold, your white blood cells are traveling around your body trying to fix you. When you scrape your knee, there's white blood cells that go right to that spot, because when you scrape your knee, you open up doors for germs to come in. Now, the last part is platelets. So I'm using these little 3-corner clear beads. And the platelets, you normally don't have very many platelets in your blood swimming around in there until you scrape your knee, because the platelet, the job of the platelet is to clot your blood. That means their job is to make the scabs and stop the blood from just flowing everywhere. Now, I'm going to add on mostly red blood cells. The red blood cells carry oxygen. Add on a few platelets, because right now this blood is not trying to fix a scrape. And just a few white blood cells, because you're not trying to fight an infection right now. So if your body is trying to fight an infection of any kind, whether it's having a cold or the flu or fixing your knee when you fall and scrape it, your body produces, it makes more white blood cells to help. Now, once you twist the little ends there, it can slip right over your wrist, and then you can adjust the size perfectly to fit. Then when you're ready to take it off, you can just Do that. There we go. There's your blood bracelet. Now, there is a myth that your blood is blue. Now, when you look at your wrists, I know it looks blue right there, doesn't it? And some people think that the blue means that there's no oxygen in it. So it's red going out and blue coming back, but actually it has to do, it's still red in there, but because your skin is covering those veins, the way that the light hits it, it makes it look blue. It's kind of like putting a colored filter over your blood, making it look blue instead of red. It's always red though, no matter what's going on. Now, I do have a joke today. It's not about blood though, but it's pretty silly. So Miss Katie.
Yes, Miss Greta?
What has hands and a face, but can't feel anything?
I don't know, what?
A clock. As the face of the clock and the part that goes around for minutes and seconds and hours, those are called hands. Now, I would like to remind everybody we are still selling our spring house kits. You get the cardboard house, frosting, various candies and cereals, and then you can add to it with anything from outside, maybe some sticks or pine cones or some moss. And I would like to also remind everybody about Story Time with Read Aloud Lincoln. I hope that you are all enjoying those videos from your favorite librarians. And tomorrow at 4 p.m., Read Aloud Lincoln and Morrill Hall will be doing their regular story time, which is pretty exciting as they normally do a story time at 4 p.m. and they'll be doing it online tomorrow at 4 p.m. You'll learn all about bugs with them. Now, I hope to see everybody tomorrow morning at 10:30 for our last day learning about our bodies. We will learn about our lungs tomorrow. Have a nice